Afternoon. Um, I spoke about Shaka Zulu, uh, knowingly, and to demonstrate how history can be manipulated, which is the same thing that's happening right now. There is this call for glory. Everybody wants to be glorious. Everybody wants to be a part of that something, whatever that something is, even if they don't understand what that something is. And when it comes to accountability and taking responsibility, everybody scatters and runs back. I'm going to be blunt, or blunt with this. Told straightforward that this is the time for the Damara regime. That's what most of them were saying, and what most are thinking. And the uh, theory or conspiracy is that I'm out to make sure or to disrupt um, the Damara regime because it's their time to eat. Um, it's common. It's what people know as Zula mentality. Meaning, yeah, they looted, now it's our turn to loot. You know, that's the concept that's going on. The concept that's going on is now if you have a Damara surname, then it's easier to get a job, it's easier to get a tender, and so forth. That's what most people think. That's what most people, how most people view it. And they viewed me as this threat that is trying to disrupt. I already said this. And they heckle, they keep on, and the thing is, most of these people are known and they do it in a manner where I know what they're doing. But since everybody's going on about their own business, they won't notice. Of course, that's very disheartening. And some are even paid. Everybody has this conspiracy, right? Of of me being some kind of a takeover element who wants things for himself, bias to all sorts of stuff. And I'm glad there are people who know me who know this isn't the case. I will use an example from last year. Honorable Venani was going to tackle poverty. He spoke about this a lot. He also wore the hat, and now he doesn't, right? Because the achievement has been achieved. The second majority party, RDP, is waning in power, and most of all, since there's no direct communication, there's no evidence or proof, right? And having seen that someone as a leader, a young leader, not just someone who will talk, but someone who will talk about facts, someone who will talk about plans, someone who will talk about how to implement those plans. That's not what I've seen. I've seen the same old, argue for argument's sake. And then some hero people who feel, we figured out something here. If this guy is trying to get, why is he quoting Venani there? What's going on? And then again, heckled. All due to tribe of all things. You know, I grew up here. Most people know I did. We moved here when I was in the 4th grade. Right. And I just don't get it. Now people that I hardly knew are silent enemies. Make him hurt as bad as possible and so forth. If there's bad news coming my way, they rejoice. I mean, I've gone through the defamation, the slander, being muddied, being cheated academically, being cheated of my time, everything. And I was like, it's cool. But still, when they see an opportunity, then all of a sudden, whoop, again. You're either a friend or you're an enemy. The term African spy, it was a joke, but it was also a statement to make me aware of what people are thinking. That I am this African spy, sent here to spy on Africans so that we can destabilize Africa or something like that. Those conspiracies. Now, it's very difficult to sort of take that type of thinking off of someone and have them thinking objectively, unless you're speaking to them one-on-one, or unless you speak somehow, just somehow speak. And one of the messages that Hage Geingob said was, don't say that Damara, say Hage. I'm Hage before I'm a Damara. So, secondly, he is also president before he's a SWAPO acting president. That's just the way things are. That's the way their system is, and I'm fine with that. But then when things go bad by these people who supposedly listen and take note but don't understand, who do they blame? And I'm just sick and tired of that. So I'll do my part, and that's it. Why am I saying Orlando is not? Well, Orlando is where I grew up. It's where I feel at home. Right? At least if I get harassed there, I'll be harassed in tongues that I'm comfortable with. And most importantly, that actually won't happen, because that's the type of environment we have there. People are not pushing each other down. You know, the PhD syndrome, constantly trying to pull someone else down, to the point where you send a permanent secretary to be the spy, supposedly, of whatever this person is up to. Of course I knew. And It's disheartening. And then after that, it's like, let bygones be bygones. That's the past. We were misinformed. It's not our fault. Well, the damage has been done. And it's not up to me to fix that. No way. That won't be on my shoulders. No freaking way. Because let's look at one example. People are marching to parliament. Because how can they build such an expensive parliament while people are supposedly homeless? While there is a ministry for land, the Ministry of Land is not approached, nor are they going to go demonstrate at the Ministry of Land. They are not there, right? They are where laws are debated and implemented. They are not where they can push for that so-called change that they want, because it's land versus building. Now this building will be built in stages. Not only is it for the convenience of these parliamentarians, they won't live forever. It is also a representation of our government when people come to visit us. There is that sense of wanting them to see that there has been progress here. They are not using the old apartheid building still. That aside, why it's so expensive, that question belongs to the anti-corruption watchdogs. Why aren't they being asked? Why aren't they being pushed to ask? A march to parliament, what good will that do? It's marching for marching's sake. Instead of saying what the government should do now, since this is supposedly taxpayers' money, is release the blueprint. Release the blueprint from when it was cheaper to when it's more expensive, so that people can actually have some sort of facts behind their anger, not just anger for anger. Because I'm tired of uh, offending people that I don't even know. I'm tired of people that I don't even know being angry towards me. I'm tired. And if there is this thought that, oh, okay, no, it's just like last time, he will take it, he'll just be quiet, frozen, and do nothing. Well, you know what? Last time my father wasn't here. And I'm not saying I'm hiding behind my father. I didn't want to taint his reputation. Because most people thought that this was being done by order from my father, and then I'm carrying out the orders, and there's going to be this coup. Or I'm talking about the people now, their minds, how they were thinking, how they think. And I don't care about how they think. It's primitive to me. But what I do care about is the fact that when I go into a professional institution, or when I go to see a doctor or so forth, and they use some sort of political political side against me, that's just going too far. I'm not naming names, and I might be mistaken, sure, but this whole point of no, you Google things and you think you know it all. Well, if that was the case, then why would I inquire upon the people who know more? For example, I was told I have a tumor, and then after that, the scans have been done, the MRI, then I have to see the neurologist. You paid cash, and if it means I have to go for some sort of uh, second opinion, third opinion, or whatever, um, I am willing, and my family is willing to help me foot the bill, no matter how expensive it is. What taxpayer money am I squandering? Whose taxpayers' money? The only thing that's there is that I'm supposedly undeserving. And why are other people so poor? Do you know what this brings? It breaks down empathy. It becomes a boo hoo. You're poor. That's your problem. Because when these individuals are used as a way to come and monitor me, to come and look for things in my room and in the house and all of that stuff. When that happens, how on earth do you expect me to go out on a limb for that same person? Where will I look? I'll look inwards. I have family, distant family, whoever they may be. And there are lots of other people who are willing to who are begging for some sort of um, interpretation of their voice that would make their plight more obvious, rather than that age old trick where, for example, they would show a child in Ethiopia that has kwashiorkor and is very, very, very skinny, while at the same time we know that Ethiopia is divided into two. There is one part of the city that is thriving, and one part where they are starving. And the policies and the cultures and the tradition and the biases and the tribalism and all of that is not looked into, because this is from someone far away who just observes for 20 seconds or so, makes up their mind and says, oh wow, that is so wrong. When I go back home, when I say home, talking about when I go back to what most people call the village, the so-called village, I will drink from that river. I'll drink the hot water. I won't boil it and yada yada yada, I will drink it. It's my own. Water that is supposedly chemically filtered is more dangerous than natural flowing waters of a river. I'm talking about the river that obviously flows, nothing stands still. So, march to parliament. Who is behind it? AR is behind it. If AR is behind it, then AR is behind it. I haven't gotten a message from AR saying, can you make a statement as to how we should move forward, and so forth. No, all I saw is people are going to march, and I said, okay. But unlike last time when people were complaining about the fees at universities, I don't want my name to be dragged into that. To the point where I lost my cool and damn near almost slapped someone. Because I was there for inquiry, but I was seen as one of these protesters that were protesting against not paying. Why? Because they dragged me into it without my consent, doing it in my name. And I say no. If it does not say John Fipando Kavamba or John Kavamba Kavamba or John Kavamba Kavamba Jr., then I am not involved, nor am I affiliated, nor am I informed. I just won't. I won't be a part of an impatient culture that lacks introspection. The way they treat you today is not the same way they treat you the day that you are valuable to them. And when you cease to be valuable, then you're thrown away again. No. Doing something because of the people that I admired. The Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela. Famous activist that inspired me to try and spread a message of change is a good thing. Change is a necessity, not complete revolution. Reform, yes, I don't speak of revolutions. Speaking in someone else's name. You know, the next time someone comes and says, I am John Kavamba ABC, ask them for their ID. Because it seems I can be at 50 places at once, causing havoc, while I'm not. I don't have any sympathy or pity left to give. I don't. I've been watching as people lie right in front of my eyes, as they lie, manipulate, play their games right in front of my eyes. And that's not the life that I want. I don't want to live that life. I am not accustomed to that life. It's why I admire that word. Walk upright, and no one can ride on your back. But in this case, where, you know, beware, because they'll try to chop off your feet so that they can make you bend. Imagine some stranger who does things pretending to be you, or pretending to be sent by you, pretending to represent you, and then you get all of the slack for it. No, I am not reactionary. I don't, this reactionary behavior of just lashing out knee-jerk reactions. I am not that type of person. If I don't have some sort of facts to back up my argument, then I won't engage. I first have to put the pieces of the puzzle together and not spend a very long time trying to guess what sort of image that these pictures what sort of image these pictures will form. So everybody is so afraid of losing whatever lifestyle they have, and they want to blame it on someone. Well, there are people who have done me wrong blatantly, and then laugh. They don't know the extent of the damage they caused. Now I'm trying to focus on one area here. Let me get my second opinion so I can have peace of mind. But still, see you in court.